The Steam library, full of forgotten games from sales, indies that I should probably play already, and stuff like this. Today, we're back to bust my backlog.
What did he say?
And the random game given is Satellite Rush. Looking at the Steam page, Satellite Rush is a sci-fi top-down shooter with roguelike elements. But trust me, if you want to give this a try, the devs seemingly forgot to mention that this turns pretty quickly into a bullet hell. Oh my god. You spawn in as a little human who is abducted from your office job, and now you're forced to defeat hundreds of monsters and 3 bosses to escape. We get right into the action when we start the game. We have 3 doors to pick from, each of which will lead to a specific boss. We start out with our simple pistol, and as you can see at the top of the screen, there's a crowd thrill meter. It slowly goes down over time, and killing monsters boosts it back up. This is one of the core mechanics of the game, as once your thrill meter gets high enough, the crowd will throw you items to use in your fight. The first items you can get sent your way are a number of guns, like a shotgun and an RPG. You can also get gifted one-time abilities as well, with the only one unlocked at this point being a bomb. So, where are the other unlockables? Well, in each of the 3 paths, you collect coins of that path that contribute to more unlocks. Each path has 2 unlocks, 1 weapon and 1 ability. And that's about it. Look, it isn't a huge game with lots of content, but it's still a little roguelike, so let's see if we can get through the game, shall we? Like I mentioned, there's 3 bosses that you'll have to take on to get through this game. The first one that I took on in this run is the All-Seeing Patrol, You're an Eye. For this one, you have to take out numerous waves of mini robots before the real thing comes to light. We get through it pretty easily, as by now I've had 4 or 5 runs already, and, you know, I'm a professional roguelike player, okay? I'm just that guy. After defeating the first boss, 2 things happen. We get a buff based on which house we offer our victory trophy to. We can either get extra HP, movement speed, or fire rate. The second thing is that the rest of the game gets harder based on which boss we defeated. Since we took out this boss, there will be extra robot enemies in each stage for the rest of the run. Hooray! We then head into the middle path, and this is where the game truly gets to being a bullet hell. There are just so many enemies at each stage, and our character simply can't maneuver well enough to get through the enemies. This is where the game does have some shortcomings to me. There were a few times where I simply couldn't get away from the enemies in time and took a bunch of damage. Maybe it's just a skill issue, but I'm so used to playing roguelikes that are tough but fair that this fell a little bit short to me in comparison. Anyways, I got through the second path, and now I have to take on the stick form flammable entity, which is a fire spirit that shoots out projectiles and spawns minions. Additionally, because we took on the robot boss before this one, there's also more robot minions. This one isn't too bad since at this point I've unlocked all of the guns and abilities. The best guns that can show up in my opinion are the repeater, the RPG, and the V-gun that shoots diagonally. There's also other abilities that can heal you, slow time, and give you a temporary shield. This brings me to another gripe that I have with the game. Why do these guns sometimes spawn so far away? And why do they despawn so fast? I understand you don't want to give too many of them, but already the crowd thrill bar doesn't really go down to the point that you're worried about not getting items, so it doesn't really matter. So why are you throwing them across the room and then they despawn before I can even get to them? Not a great design in my opinion, but whatever. Anyways, now that we've taken out the fire boss, in the third area, all enemies leave fire on the ground upon death, and there's still those robot enemies. We are officially in hell. There are simply so many things going on that I barely have a strategy for this part of the run. I'm basically spamming abilities to try to get space between myself and the enemies. I did take the movement speed upgrade after the second boss, but it doesn't really matter when I get closed in on by like 20 enemies at the same time. We somehow get through the third path and take on the third boss, hastily assembled unit, Frogzord. For this one, the boss is kind of this evil DVD screensaver that splits up the more damage you do to it, with little frog warriors coming for you too. And of course, they also all drop fire when they die, and there's robot enemies here as well. In this fight, we got extremely lucky with the item drops, I'm not gonna lie. We got a bunch of healing and some lucky RPG drops, and we managed to take down the third and final boss. Honestly, would I recommend checking out Satellite Rush? Probably not at full price. Even though it's pretty cheap, there's so many other banger roguelike bullet hell games similar to this that do what this does, but better. However, the devs might have hacked into my PC because for some reason, this game is now like 50 cents on Steam right now until the end of July 2025, if you're watching this later than that for some reason. This isn't an ad at all, I haven't been paid to say this, but it's super funny that the sale times up with the fact that this is the random game that that I got. Why not throw a couple cents to an indie dev for a couple hours of gameplay? It's super cheap. Why not check it out? It's a pretty good deal. Anyways, I would probably rate Satellite Rush around a 5.5 to 6 out of 10. It's a very inoffensive roguelike with a few kind of hitbox issues and survivability issues, but other than that, it's pretty fun, and I generally had a good time playing through the game. Now, why don't we go through the exit door and see what our reward is for finishing the run. God damn it. Well, that's Satellite Rush. I'm not going to do another run of this.